Hi, I'm Joanne with Live Your Yellow Brick Road. Now, I'm not to make light of what's going on in the world, because obviously with the coronavirus, things are very serious. They have a lot of negative implications. Hopefully, when we get through this, there will be positive things that come out of it as well. However, I cannot stop thinking about the coronavirus scenario in relationship with my change management hat on. And for those that are in the change management field, I'm sure you can relate to what I'm going to say. So think about all the times that you have been given the most ideal project where change management practices and principles are integrated into an initiative, where you have your sponsors lined up, where you have defined what the change is, you have defined the vision of the future, you're able to integrate a change management strategy and plan and execution. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that was a rare, rare occasion where that occurred. Some organizations that integrate change management practices in their organization as a daily and common practice, yeah, you probably have a better chance of having that ideal change management project. But for most of us, and for most of you, usually what happens is there's an initiative that comes to the table, you get thrown in the middle of it, or you find out about it and you kind of jump into the middle of an initiative where all of the things that you would incorporate as part of your change management practice, you have to really go at a fast forward speed to catch up and get alignment there. Usually it's like driving a car and trying to change the wheel at the same time. So I know you know what I'm talking about. So when I think about coronavirus in regards to in relation to change management, I just have to like crack up really loud. Um, for those that are not so familiar with change management, I just want to just kind of go through just some basics in relationship to coronavirus. And I want to share, for example, what typical when we talk about change management traditionally, there are typically three traditional states. There is the current state, and in relation to coronavirus, you can think of the current state as it was earlier on this year, say maybe January, depending on where you were in the world. And the current state is the comfortable. It is where you're familiar with things. You know what to expect. Things are kind of known. You may not like it, but you're comfortable with it. So if you think about it in relationship to, let's say, a bad relationship, uh, you might be in a bad relationship. You might want to change, but you're kind of comfortable where you are, so you don't get off your butt and make a change. Same thing with your career. You might be in a job that, you know what, you're not happy with, you're not satisfied with anymore, but you're kind of comfortable and cozy, and you just haven't gotten to that point where you're ready to make a change because you know what you know, and that's comfortable. And a lot of us have been in that state many, many times in our lifetimes. And then there is the transitional state. Now, the transitional state is typically messy. It's unpredictable. It can be very emotional. You can experience, fear, anxiety, um, anger. And when you're in that transitional state, you have to be open to thinking outside the box, being open to new perspectives, learning new ways of doing things. So when you think about that relationship, this could be the period of, let's say, you decided to get a divorce. So you're in that period of, I decided to get a divorce, and you're transitioning, you're not yet divorced, and you're going through all sorts of emotional ups and downs. You don't know what the future is going to look like. You're in an unpredictable state, and it's typically probably usually fluctuating, so it's unpredictable, don't know what to expect. and you're trying to adjust to what might be your new future state. And same thing with your career. You may have decided that you finally are making a move, and maybe you change jobs and you have to relocate. And that period of time is a transitional state. Are you making the right decision? Um, what's your new world going to look like? How are you going to cope in your new job, and so on and so on. So that's current state and a transitional state. And then there is what we call the future state. And the future state is where I call it's the new normal. So when we get through all of this craziness with coronavirus, we're going to have a new normal. We won't go back to what was before. That would not be a successful change if you didn't change. So your future state is also can be in flux because you're still working on things that may not be fully defined. Things might shift still as you adjust, but eventually it becomes your new normal. So when you think about it in relationship to a divorce, for instance, you've now finalized your divorce and you're moving on, and you're starting a new future for yourself. That would be the future state. And in your job, let's say, once you started your new job and you begin to get comfortable, work through it, find your feet, find your way around, that is your new normal and your future state. So as you can see with coronavirus, we are also going through these states. So I feel that with my change management experience and background, I just couldn't help but to share this. I'm sure you've already thought about it, but yeah, it keeps popping in my head, so I thought I'd share. Anyway, I hope that was useful for you. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and washing your hands, keeping your distance. Thank you. Ciao, ciao.